morning, everyone.
How are we?
How's it going?
Stable.
Stable. I'm Biz, also known as the Halloween time traveler. Something. I don't know what I was going.
What?
I don't know what I was going for there. I was trying something.
All right. And my name is Tones, aka the Sweaty Pumpkin. So, we're recording this the day after, and we're just kind of enjoying the remnants of our Halloween. Did you have a good Halloween?
Yeah. It was a nice, slightly atmospheric. Yeah. Well, I mean, all things considered, there was some salvage of Halloween, so I was, I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, we did.
I could still experience that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. We did the pumpkin carving.
Yeah.
One of the eyeballs on mine fell out. As in, I tried to make an eye and it kind of popped in.
Ew.
But now it's great because it looks like you can move it, so it looks like it's looking around. I mean, now
Ew.
It doesn't look like anything anymore. No, it's good. We all hope you had a wonderful Halloween. It was a big gaming Halloween for me.
Yes, it was.
But before we go down that rabbit hole, obviously we missed a week last week previously on Tones and the Biz.
Yes, we did. Sorry about that, guys.
I didn't have a voice.
He didn't. Your voice just escaped you.
I had the Batman voice, which I tried to cling to for a long time, and then it just went completely. So
I was like, nah, mate, we're out.
I couldn't speak. So sorry
but
about
he's all better now.
I'm all better now.
He's all lemsipped up.
You can't shut me up. So we're just gonna go straight into if you did not already know.
Yes, please.
Big news. The first one that I find absolutely fascinating.
Yeah.
This is from GameIndustry.biz.
Yeah.
EA fined 10 million euros over loot boxes as Dutch court sides with gambling authority.
EA.
It was only going to happen. It was always going to happen. A Netherlands district court this week ruled against Electronic Arts in a case over FIFA loot boxes, allowing the Netherlands Gambling Authority to proceed in fining the publisher 10 million euros for violating the country's Betting and Gaming Act.
I mean, yeah, you had it coming. They had it coming. Like, you can't try and blend your way out of their loot boxes. It's gambling, isn't it?
Gambling.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, the people have been arguing this case and saying it's, it is or it isn't, but they found a way. They say that the Netherlands the Gambling Authority believes it is crucial to shield vulnerable groups such as minors from exposure to gambling.
Of course.
The regulator explained, for that reason, the KSA, or the Gambling Authority, supports a strict separation between gaming and gambling. Gamers are often young and therefore particularly susceptible to developing an addiction. As such,
vulnerable.
As such, gambling elements have no place in games. Men, that is how it should be. Gambling has no place in games. Like, this is disgusting, and the fact that they're still doing this stuff, like, and have been getting away from it and making a lot of money, it's good that they're being charged, and not just a slap on the wrist. Well,
I mean,
is this 10 million? I mean, it feels like a lot to us, but is it a lot to them?
I mean, it's got to hurt them a little bit.
You think?
And for the fact that they are EA, they've kind of made an example of themselves. You know what I mean? So I think that hopefully this will set a precedent to other developers and developers to say, look, actually, let's kind of rethink this whole loot box thing, and let's not go too far down that rabbit hole. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, they've said here, look, according to the judgment, EA argued that FIFA loot boxes would not count as gambling under the Betting and Gaming Act because FIFA Ultimate Team Packs, or loot boxes, don't offer items of value because they cannot be directly converted into money. That FIFA is inherently a game of skill rather than chance, and that there is no scientific evidence linking the opening of Ultimate Team Packs, loot boxes, to gambling addiction. I mean, listen to that. I mean, mental gymnastics.
They're trying to do backflips, aren't they? They're trying to blend it. They're trying to blend it, but no, I'm glad they've been caught out.
So they got done. Basically, they got fined 10 million euros. Which is great. I think it's great. I hope they learn a lesson. They probably won't. This is bonus money for the big boys upstairs.
Yeah.
But good. I'm glad that people, hopefully this will start catching on, and I'm hoping that
this is it.
The UK will start doing bits and pieces, and we'll start seeing some real change.
Yeah. No, I'm all for that. Just let people game and have the experience. You know what I mean? Let people game in peace.
I know. Here's a fun fact that came up a couple of days ago. Activision Blizzard has plans to hire over 2,000 people.
Wow.
To meet upcoming production demands, according to CEO Bobby Kotick. And it's... Did I say that right?
Well, that's good news.
Yeah, I did. Critic. So this is interesting. The fact that they laid off, like it even says it here. This need to staff up comes just a year and a half after the company laid off 800 people. At the same time, it announced a year of record revenue. That is dirty.
Yeah, I remember that. Oof.
Yeah, we've made bare money. We've got so much cash in the bank. By the way, you all
out.
go
Out.
because we need the money because we're struggling, but we're making bare. It's like, come
Oh,
on,
man.
And now they're turning around going, yeah, we need 2,000 people. So you need more than you. Just Blizzard, man, they need to calm down.
Yeah, they need to fix up a little bit, man.
So yeah, that happened. That was an interesting one.
Okay.
Moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Apex.
Yeah. Talk to us.
November 4th.
Yeah.
We've got the next season coming out. Looks great with the new map, Olympus. It is actually called Olympus.
That trailer looked.
The trailers looked amazing. I think it was really good. I think they always, Respawn put out mad stuff on par with, in my opinion, the Riot Games trailers.
Yeah.
The League of Legends stuff is always amazing. And this isn't no different. I'm looking forward to it.
I mean, you can tell from this last trailer, because what is it? Season 7 now.
Season 7.
It's going to be season 7. That game is obviously doing so well.
Yeah.
And you can just see like the love and the cash, to be shrewd, that they've thrown at this trailer, and it just looks epic.
It looks amazing. I mean, we've got the new character coming in. The new trailer, the cinematic trailer they dropped, which was heavy Interstellar vibes.
Yeah. It really
Chris
was.
Nolan film. It looks great. I mean, it looks great. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna play the life out of it.
Yeah.
And the boys. It's gonna be good. No, I'm looking forward to it. I think there's been a lot of trailers recently that have kind of had some like interesting reactions from me.
Oh yeah, how so?
What
trailers in particular?
I'm excited for the Apex stuff. That'll be really good.
I don't even play Apex, and I was
great.
excited off of that trailer.
The trailer for League of Legends, the new kind of spin-off, called The Ruined King, which is supposed to be a single-player, turn-based game, RPG style. The trailer for that looked great.
That did look fantastic.
Super animated. Great style. I hope it's good. I mean, I'm still a bit hurt from Valorant.
Yeah, I mean that's still a sore spot.
Where they're trying to make a
people,
bougie. And they've made it even worse. Where they're charging like hundreds of dollars for skins, and then being like, "We're not making cheap content here. We're making." They're trying to be like the Louis Vuitton, the Supreme of gaming, where they're like, "Yeah, but we make premium products, so we have to charge premium prices."
But hold on, Valorant has been out 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So where are you going with that attitude?
Hundreds of dollars for like gun skins and stuff.
Yeah, no, that's not right.
It's bad, and obviously we talked about toxicity previously. I'm a little bit on the fence for it.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna check it out. I'll just like I checked out Valorant. I will check this out, and if it is single player, and it's one of those kind of on their own things, and all day long.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
That'd be really good. You showed me something earlier.
I did. Actually, I've got a couple up my sleeve that I'm weirdly intrigued by. The first one is Pray for the Gods. Now, Pray for the Gods is an upcoming game it's going to be released on the PS4, PS5, quarter 1 of 2021, and it's by No Matter Software, right?
Yep.
Now, you look at this game. I'll read you a little bit of a blurb about it.
Bring it on.
Yeah. So it's set on an island whereby to survive, you have to destroy the very gods you believe in. Okay. Pause for dramatic effect.
Yeah.
So you play a hero sent to discover the mystery behind a never-ending winter whilst facing colossal dangers, right?
Colossal. Being the key word here.
Being the key word here, right? So we've looked at this trailer now. We're like, okay, yeah, what's this trailer saying? 2 seconds in. Shadow of the Colossus. It is Shadow of the Colossus, but just with more stuff.
More stuff.
It's just more bits and pieces.
You're fighting
going
little
on.
things as well as big things.
Yeah.
I mean, look, they must have gone into it going, we're directly influenced by
Oh, mate.
Shadow. I mean, it's bordering on. Come on, guys.
I mean,
really?
the use of influence is shaky.
Yeah, I'm being
best.
very diplomatic. The idea, because Shadow of the Colossus is an old game
Yeah.
that they remastered. The guys that remastered it are now doing, I think they're called Blue Point, are now redoing Demon Souls.
Yes.
And the Shadow of the Colossus game was amazing. It was a very fun game back in the day. People love the new one now. I'm not sure if it held up as well now. Like the remake, as a concept for a game.
Yeah.
Now with everything, the evolution of gaming.
Of course. Yeah.
But it was still still a great game in my opinion.
I mean, I was sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
I was one of those that I didn't play it on the previous generation. I purposely bought it for this
The
generation.
new one. Yeah.
So I kind of missed all of that hype and fanfare and all the rest of it. But I still really enjoyed it because as a concept, even though, like you say, it doesn't fit so well with how games have developed now, or at least when it was released then for the new version. But I still really liked it as a concept in the fact that, each level is a boss and it's not so...
But only the boss.
But yeah, it's only the boss, right? And it's not so straightforward that you can just walk through it. You kind of have to think about where, you need to find how to destroy this thing.
Yeah, it's a moving puzzle, isn't it?
It's a moving puzzle. Yeah, perfect way of putting it. It's a moving puzzle. And I kind of liked that. I really did like that. So seeing this one now for Pray for the Gods, even though I will admit it does look like a complete... rip.
Yeah, it does look like it's taking heavily from... You're like, come on, guys.
I mean, I saw somebody in the comments that said Shadow of the Colossus plus Horizon Zero Dawn Frozen Wilds equals Pray for the Gods. And I was like, yeah, I can see that.
I mean, both great games, and, if they pull off the best parts of both, then I'm in,
I mean, even the protagonist, like red hair and a bow and arrow.
Yeah, dude.
Do you know what I mean? So they're not even trying. But at the same time, I'm like, do you know what? It does actually look kind of interesting. It looks fun.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I'll give it a little bit more. I need to see a bit more heavy motion blur on that as well. So there was a lot of some. Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously, I don't know enough about it. I think we'll see. I'd like to see more.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there.
Yeah, for sure. I might have to review that one.
Cyberpunk.
Right.
This is probably going to turn into most of the episode.
Yeah, let
is us talking about Cyberpunk 2077.
Should I leave this?
Okay, well let me just right. So the fact is that CD Projekt Red have decided to push Cyberpunk to the 10th of December.
Yeah.
21-day push, and they are chalking it up to the fact that they need more time to optimize it for the new gens, so all platforms, so they can roll out the game across all platforms at the same time and not have any issues. And that is why they've decided to push it 21 days. After that's happened, the developers are getting death threats, and the community managers are getting told their house is going to get burned down and bad things are going to happen by these just really small-minded people.
Yeah,
and you're like, okay, well, look, everyone's disappointed. That's fine, but to threaten someone's life,
it's not
for
cool.
that. It's just like, dude, open the curtains. And let some air in. You know what I mean? Open the window, let some air in.
Get some vitamin D or something.
Yeah, dude.
Just get something in your life.
It's really sad. It's really sad that people feel like they need to talk to another human being that way. But yes, so they've been getting death threats. So now go.
Right. Well, my whole issue with this, right now, CD Projekt Red responsible for The Witcher. Cyberpunk is coming, so we're like, okay, this is going to be a great game. This is the second time they're delaying it now? Is it the second time?
Yeah, they delayed it by 6 months last time, yeah.
Right.
Early this year, because it was supposed to come out at the same time as Final Fantasy, wasn't it, around there?
Exactly. Now, what's been happening since that initial supposed release date is that it almost feels like by the week we've been seeing new content promoting Cyberpunk, like, NPC sort of characteristics and main player characteristics. I think the latest one I saw was how cars all fall apart differently. I'm like, okay, so
amazing, great,
yeah, right. So I'm thinking, okay, there's all these different trailers, and like a couple of weeks ago there was a trailer with Keanu Reeves as well, and I thought, okay, yeah, fine. For the most part,
about the bike, yeah,
about the bike, yeah. So we're having all of this stuff thrown at us, and then there's a delay. There's another delay coming, and you just think, like me personally, I'm already getting to the point where I feel is saturated the right word? I want to say saturated with the amount of Cyberpunk promotion that I'm getting thrown at me.
Yeah.
And then to have an announcement that the game is going to be delayed yet again, it just kind of feels, I don't know, I feel a bit shaky about it. I'm still going to buy it, don't get me wrong. And I'm still going to play, like, understand that life doesn't exist as soon as I buy that game. Yeah, I'm playing it. I am going to play it.
It is interesting. I mean, the idea is, you know, a game like that comes out and everybody's going to be giving their money, no matter what the complaints is. If you're going to if you're threatening to kill the developers and wishing bad things on developers, shame on you.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you can be upset as you want. You're still going to give them your money.
Exactly.
Right. I'm at a point now where, a friend of mine said something, and it was quite a good way of doing it for a different perspective. Was it's like a magician coming up to you, showing you how the whole show works, how the magic trick works, the ins and outs of all of it, and then telling you to go sit in the stands and enjoy the show. And you're like, well,
that's actually really tickled me.
Like,
but yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Do you know what I mean? It's like,
it
don't show me how you're going to do the magic, how the trick works.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And then expect me to sit in the stands and be like, oh, wow, amazing.
Yeah.
And it's like, stop showing me shit. Like, stop doing these live events. Stop doing the, like, for me personally, it's like, it should have been 4 trailers
max,
tops.
Absolute max,
and then put some interesting artwork out.
Yeah,
every now and then on the Twitter.
Yeah,
just keep putting these cool artwork out. Maybe some screenshots here and there. Maybe do a campaign where it's like advertising from the game within the game itself that you can put out.
Yep.
Stuff like that's really cool. But when you start getting to the point where you're showing me the mechanics, you're showing me the ins and outs of how a car breaks down or a bike or it does get to a point where I'm like, dude.
Yeah, like leave me something that I can actually play and enjoy and discover for myself.
And that was the thing. And that's what I said, sorry, and that's not to cut you off, but like an example of, I always thought, and it's a shame because the game actually turned out to be quite bad previously, in my opinion, was The Division. Back in the day, The Division released a trailer. Do you remember my disappointment?
I do remember your disappointment. That game should have been good.
It should have been phenomenal.
I don't know what went wrong.
But what was interesting
seemed like
about
such
that,
a cool concept.
Just, there was nothing in it. But like, what was interesting is the concept was amazing. The trailers they dropped were phenomenal. Everything was great. But the thing that people picked up on more than anything else was there was a firefight in one of the demos, right?
Right.
And this guy's hiding behind a car.
Yeah.
And the car door, the abandoned car door, is slightly open.
Okay.
Right? So he's in cover, and the character controlled, player controlled, goes along the side of the car to get to the far side of the car to get a shot. As he's going down, the guy puts his arm out and shuts the door, right, and goes round.
Right.
It sounds very, very simple, but the internet broke. Like, everyone was like, he interacted with the environment in such a way that you would never normally see. Normally the door would be closed and the guy would just be going past it like it was a natural hitbox, right?
Yeah.
Natural geometry, like an object.
Yeah.
So in this case, there was another piece sticking out of it, and the guy moved along the car and then shut the door so that he could carry on moving along the car.
Right.
So small, so minor, but everyone was like, "Yo, did you see him shut the door though?" Like that became the centerpiece because it was such a small detail.
Yeah.
Now, had they have done it where they rolled out bare trailers, lots and lots of trailers, and they were rolling out all these things. They were like, by the way, check this out, yeah? Man can shut the door still. And then you can do this, and you can do that, and we break that down. If they broke it all down, it'd be like, okay, well, it's not that. Wow. If they did that where in Cyberpunk, and I'm sure they've got stuff to show. Look, just to reiterate, I'm going to play the game. I'm a massive fan of CDPR. But if they'd have just gone, okay, don't tell them anything. And then a car broke up in a different way, and then people, yo, did you put a trailer out where this car just explodes, and yo, did you see that?
Yeah.
Let the people do the spreading.
Yeah, exactly. Let the people talk amongst themselves. It's like you just throw something into the room and then just let everybody chat.
Don't show me the magic too soon.
Yeah. And I do. I don't know. I mean, like I say, still gonna play it. I finally got round to pre-ordering it.
You did?
Yeah, absolutely. About a week and a half ago, and then I got the email saying, "Oh yeah, sorry, the game's gonna be delayed. That's our fault."
Did you get a hard copy?
Yeah, I'm getting a hard copy. It's got to be a hard copy. You know
I think I'm gonna get it on the PC.
Yeah, you gonna do it?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get it on the PC. I'm gonna have to monitor up though.
I think you will.
I'm gonna have to pay some money.
You're gonna have to go super monitor.
Super monitor. I've been toying with it. Oh god. So yeah, that's kind of this push is in my eyes, it's not a big deal. It was kind of like, okay, you just roll your eyes at this point where you're like, you know what, just tell me when it's out.
Yeah, and because there was the other thing that you that you pointed out the other day was that, you know, because they've moved their release date again, that means other developers have had to move their release dates as well, because obviously no one wants to be around a CD Projekt Red game, right? Because that's
Path of Exile's DLC had to get pushed.
Yeah,
they've delayed because they don't want anything to do with CD Projekt Red games.
Yeah.
I'm interested because apparently the Medium comes out on the 10th of December, which is Windows Xbox exclusive. That's kind of like the next survival horror franchise idea that people want, that they're releasing, and that comes out on the same day. Can you imagine being a dev that's put so much time into a game to know that like the local bullies now, like, not to say they're the local bully, right, but like this idea of this massive thing just drops on your date, and you're like, no one's gonna play our game if they do.
Exactly. They'll just lose out, and it's a shame, man.
It is a shame.
I love the fact that this game is well anticipated, coming from a developer that is just bulletproof at this point.
Yeah, man.
But it's now gotten to a point where we need to make space for the arrival.
Yeah, no one wants to be around. It was the same with what was the Star Wars and all those things, and everyone was like, no, I don't want to be around Star Wars, man. I don't want to, when they were coming out every year.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. These guys are like, because, initial sales happen straight away.
Yeah.
And if a big game drops on the same day your game drops, I'm getting the Medium. I'm supporting them.
Do it.
But I am also very sad to go, I won't play it straight away. But just know I'm definitely going to support those guys because I think it looks great, and there hasn't been, for me, a survival horror that up since Resi 2 Remake, right?
What is the Medium about? Like, what's the vibe of it?
Oh god, I don't want to do this off the top of my head, so I'm going to bring it up. Hold on. The Medium game. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. The Medium is an upcoming psychological horror video game developed by Bloober Team, scheduled to be released for Microsoft. It is. There's no news about it. I have no idea. It looks great.
It looks pretty.
It's a psychological horror.
I'm all about my psychological horrors.
Yeah, man. And they're saying that it's akin to Silent Hill. And as soon as...
as soon as you hear those words...
I heard those words. I was like, obviously I'm in. The idea... They came up with the idea in 2012. Yeah. He likes his approach to Stranger Things and Chernobyl. He worked on there's some guys that worked on the Silent Hill games. I mean, like, it's basically, it's a psychological horror, a la Capcom games and, Resi, Silent Hill.
It almost feels as though that, because I've noticed like a few different trailers, like just here and there, a few like different bits of news and whatnot, that are very much pointing to this kind of post Resi 2 remake sort of vibe, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think that's a good thing. I do look forward to seeing more of that stuff, in the sense that hopefully, we get a lot of stuff that's quite original, but I'm a horror junkie. Yeah, I like seeing that stuff. Man.
I love that stuff.
I like playing that stuff.
I don't like a lot of horror games, but I love survival horror that has good storylines, and it makes me want to push through to find out what happens next. If it's just scary for the sake of being scary, I'm out. But if it's like, okay, I need to know what's next, and I don't want to, but okay, fine, I'll do it. And that's the difference.
I hear that. What about because you were talking to me recently about Amnesia?
Oh yeah, we played a Machine for Pigs.
Yeah,
that wasn't good.
Was it not cool?
No.
Because the first two were really...
Amnesia's the first one.
Yeah.
And then it was Amnesia Machine for Pigs. And then there's Amnesia Rebirth. Which just came out.
Yeah.
I haven't had a go at Rebirth yet. A Machine for Pigs I think what kind of put Amnesia, the first one. By the way, Amnesia is a first-person horror game, psychological horror game, where it is you don't have guns, you can't defend yourself. It's all about figuring out the mystery of why you have amnesia and where you come from and what's the point of it.
Yeah.
And things are in the map, things are on the world,
Yeah.
and you have to hide from them. And it's this constant kind of, is it there? Is it not there? There's something in the dark.
Yeah.
I'm losing my mind, kind of. And the second one was called A Machine for Pigs, which was set in London, and it was just not very scary. And now for me to say a game isn't scary, for you it would be like the Care Bears.
Oh man, really?
Just because what you find scary is like nightmare fuel for me.
Yeah.
So when I was playing this game, it's about a 4-hour playthrough,
right,
4.5 hours maybe. Some really nice moments. It started off very good, very atmospheric, but then it kind of just turns into this like. I don't have a problem with like loads amount of like exposition and reading and stuff like that. I don't have a problem with that.
Right.
But it just got to a point where you're like, what are we doing?
So what?
And the pig creatures aren't scary, and it wasn't very scary. I'm hoping Rebirth is better. I haven't played Soma that you've been telling me to play.
Listen, mate.
So everyone says Soma's amazing.
Look, dude, I want to play that game again. Like,
I'm surprised you didn't Halloween it.
That's true, you know. I mean, I've left it long enough now that I could go back for a brand new, fresh experience, because that game,
that was supposed to be scary.
It's so good. It's scary and it's so well done as well. And it's in a similar vein that you don't have weapons or anything like that. You just kind of have to work out
what
happened basically, and why you're in it. So it's set in an underwater facility.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to find your way back out and just work out why you were there in the first place.
If you're interested, the game is called Soma, Soma.
Soma.
Feel free to check it out. It's on where you can get games.
Yeah.
It's on PlayStation. it's on PC.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's an indie. It would be considered an indie game, right?
It would be considered an indie game. Yeah. And it's cheap as chips now as well.
Yeah, I feel like Machine for Pigs wasn't very Amnesia 2. I think it's 2.
Yeah.
Just wasn't very scary.
No.
I found Gone Home to have more atmosphere. Gone Home is another walking sim.
Yeah.
In a house.
Yeah.
You can't do anything. To be way more, because it used my imagination against me.
That was what was genius about that game, because you were expecting to have something just sort of peer around the corner at you
at any moment,
at any given moment, and the only ambience you've got is kind of like your own footsteps and the rain outside and stuff like that, the storm going on outside. Aside from that, there's nothing. But it's beautiful in the fact that you are just left to your own imagination.
It was great. I mean, it says it's set in the year 1995. Gone Home puts the player in the role of a young woman returning home from overseas to her rural Oregon family home to find her family currently absent and the house empty, leaving her to piece together recent events. And it was it. That's all you needed.
Yeah. That's all you needed. You step in the house and it's like, right, go, figure it out.
First person.
Yeah.
It was good. I really, that for me had a lot more presence.
A lot more presence.
Well, I felt a lot more in the room.
Okay.
You know, I was way more focused.
Yeah.
Than Amnesia. Amnesia was very disappointing. Amnesia Machine for Pigs was very disappointing. And it did feel like it got to a point towards the end. You're like, all right, guys, all right. Someone's been reading. Someone's been reading magazines again. What are you doing? Like, why? This is a little bit pretentious. But no, like I said, it was a good effort, but it wasn't for me.
I see that.
Otherwise, what else have you been playing? Any Halloweeny games?
Well, I mean, we've been doing Darkwood. Doing a little bit of Darkwood.
Darkwood's great.
Yeah, Darkwood is very, very cool. We kind of lightly touched on it before in that I think I said it was like a top-down. Well, it's like a top-down Zelda.
It's kind of like imagine Grand Theft Auto 1 for those of you that can remember that.
That's probably a better way of putting it.
It's like Grand Theft Auto 1 in a horror setting with the sound turned up to 11.
Yeah.
That was some scary stuff.
It's some really, really good stuff, and with regard to the sound design, it really, really plays on you.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it hinges on the sound.
Yeah, pretty much so. And it's not like anything that I'm usually used to, because with the horrors that I play, they're usually like walking sims or, you know, Resi or something like that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Whereas with this one, it's got that, like you say, the Grand Theft Auto / Zelda top down, bird's eye view sort of vibe. And going into it, you know, I'm just Charlie big balls. Here,
Just
you know
get
what
out
I mean?
there, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just like, oh yeah, I can do this. This is fine. Gone into it now. I'm like, actually, this kind of feels weird.
Yeah, it does.
You know what I mean?
Like, because there's sections of it. Basically, the idea of Darkwood is you're putting this wood,
Yeah.
and you can't really, you have to find a way out. But as the days roll on, you have to survive the nights.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, you barricade the windows, block the doors, block the holes.
Yeah. You have to
in your house, and you have to survive a night.
You have to go outside, turn on the generator so the lights can work.
Yeah, so the
you
lights
can
stay
get
on.
light in certain rooms, and then you knock on the door. And not giving too much away here, because this all happens within the first 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, like the
you know
first
what I mean?
night or the first couple nights, you hear people walking around outside the house.
Yeah.
Then there's like people knocking on the door.
Yeah, you hear
knocking on the
You
windows.
hear people crashing in and
breaking of the wind. Yeah, I mean it's.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah, look your face. You love it.
I'm kind of shivering here
The
talking
idea
about
of
it.
you hear someone like, because there's a hole in the wall in the house that I was in, and I pushed a wardrobe in front of it.
Yeah.
And then you hear someone pushing against it trying to get in.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Nah. And you're like, oh god.
Yeah, because there was that one bit. I'm sorry, this is a minor spoiler, but again, this is like the first 10-15 minutes. But there's a bit because you have to get back to the house before night falls, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So I've gotten back to my house now. I've barely got any wood to barricade up the windows or anything, right? So I'm just cowering in this corner. And then obviously you can see like the whole layout of the house, but as it gets dark and the mist starts crawling in, all you can see is
the light around you.
Just the light around you, and then everything else is mist and sound. And I'm just there it got to a point where I noticed I was holding the D-pad up into the corner because I was making sure that I was stuck to the wall, like, and I wasn't moving. I was like, "Holy crap! This has gotten to me."
And the thing is, there's streams of light that kind of go out the window. So if someone passes the window, and passes that stream of light, you see them.
You see them,
And this doubles down on the idea of graphics aren't everything.
No,
you don't need like top tier graphics to have a scary experience.
No, you really don't.
You really don't. Like, sound plays an integral, if not more important part to horror.
Yeah.
Or just generally, but I feel like horror more so because when you're scared, your senses are heightened.
That's it.
And you're paying attention to the smallest detail.
Yeah.
And this is a perfect example, is something like Darkwood, where aesthetically it doesn't come off very scary.
No, I mean, for all intents and purposes, it kind of looks like a 16-bit game. You know what I mean? In a way.
But when the audio kicks in, that's when you're like, yo, you dial in and you're like, it plays with you. It's great. Darkwood is a great game.
Yeah, and there's some sounds that just come wildly out of nowhere that just go poof.
Yeah.
You know, and you're just like, oh gosh, what was that?
Because you can't see the house. Or like someone went into the generator room.
Yeah.
And the door opened and there's someone in the generator room. You're like, please don't turn it off. Please don't turn it off. Please don't turn off the generator. Please don't turn off the generator. That feeling of, okay, I can't leave the house or I will die. Yeah. In the game is so good.
Do you know what? I mean, this kind of reminds me of another game that you've been talking to me about recently, actually.
Go on.
What was it? Hunt Showdown? Hunt Showdown.
Yeah, like I've been obsessed with this game and haven't played it for like 6 months.
Yeah.
And
but you went in hard in the paint recently, didn't you?
Yesterday. So for Halloween, the usual boys got together and we played all the Halloween versions of the game. So Call of Duty has Zombie Royale, where you start the game as a human.
Yeah.
And if you die, you become a zombie. And if you kill 2 people as a zombie, you get a serum and you come back as a human. Rinse and repeat. And the whole point of the game is that the last human standing wins.
Yeah.
Then you can move on to Shadow Royale, which is the Apex version. Yeah. Whereas if you die, you come back as a Revenant. But there's no coming back as a human. You're a Revenant for the rest of the game. Right. And it's the same thing. Last human standing. Like you wipe the squad. So if you die as a Revenant, you're out. Yeah. So we played a lot of those games. We played a good few rounds of that. And I was trying to persuade. We've all got it, but no one's really played it. And we decided to play Hunt Showdown. Now Hunt Showdown is set in Louisiana, 1895. Wow. It's kind of so there's like American Civil War vibes. It's in the Bayou kind of vibe. Yeah. And it's PvE, so player versus event, VP versus player. So It's kind of a battle royale vibe,
Yeah.
but there are things you need to do in the game. It's not just the simply killing everybody else.
Right.
And it is atmospheric as all hell.
Really?
Yeah, because you've got like, it's all about sound. Again, we're talking about horror and sound, or atmosphere and sound.
Yeah.
You know, there are crows that if you scare them off, players will know who you are. If you shoot a gun, players know who you are. There's glass on the floor. If you walk over it, it cracks. Players know who you are. Dogs will bark at you. There are like sounds everywhere, and it's 3D binaural. So there's this. No other game has got this.
Yeah. This is kind of like a new frontier.
This is like a
semi-new frontier
thing. Yeah, like most
sound.
games don't have it. You can hear footsteps and you can hear people around you, but certainly not to the extent of Hunt, where it feels like people are in the room with you, or someone's downstairs because they've walked over glass.
Right.
That idea of you're hiding in a house and you hear someone walk over the glass downstairs, or you hear the creak of a door, or
that's fantastic.
there's like chains hanging from the ceiling, and if they walk through it, they clink. And
I mean, imagine if we were playing Gone Home and we're upstairs in the house and you heard that.
in it, and that's basically what
Yeah.
it is, though, because it's so tense. Especially like, I've not played this game a lot, so I'm already a noob.
Right.
And there are guys, you know, that have been playing this game because it came out in 2018, I
Yeah.
think. February of 2018. And it's very
It's quite a niche game, isn't it?
yeah, it is. It's very particular. It's not as popular as it should be. It deserves to be way bigger than it is.
Yeah, because I've seen you play it over the shoulder now, and it looks awesome.
It looks amazing.
It aesthetically, it does look really, really on point. And
We were horrible at it.
really, what?
Oh, no, it was awful.
Why?
Because you can't go from a game like Call of Duty or Apex, where it's like not really any friendly fire.
Right.
You can be as loud as you want. It doesn't really matter, because when people are running around, you know, oh, there's someone around me.
Yeah.
I can run outside and find them. And you know, no friendly fire. The sounds are important, but not that important. And you've got automatic weapons.
Right.
Hunt is different because it's 1890 something.
Yeah.
You have guns from 1890 something.
Yeah.
Bang, reload, bang,
yeah,
reload.
Yeah.
Right, and you've got pistols, and you can do the kind of like chamber shooting, you know, hammer shooting. But when you take a bunch of people, especially DJ, who's like, yeah, I'm talking about you, DJ.
Sup, Trick?
Who is who's like automatic weapons a day.
Yeah.
You know.
Just spray everywhere.
Spray, yeah. I mean, he's like laser accurate, because he's the best FPS shooter I know.
Right.
But like, you put him in an environment like this, and I'm sure after like a bit of game time, you figure anything out.
Yeah.
But that initial time is like, if I catch fire, because an immolator, which is like a burning skeleton,
Right.
blows up, I catch fire, and then I touch you and you catch fire, and then so I've got Trick running around laughing his ass off because he's on fire, I'm on fire, everyone's shouting.
Yeah.
If someone's shooting a gun, they're running over glass, everybody can hear us. And crows are going off, and then I accidentally shoot Tristan in the back, but I didn't know that.
Oh man.
I didn't know there was I didn't know there was friendly fire, so we were fighting something and he crossed me.
Yeah.
And I was shooting and he went down. I was like,
What?
yeah, and he's like, oh, I think I'm dead. And I'm like, yeah, sorry, yeah. The creature got you, man. The creature got you. I'm really sorry. The monster must have got you. Oh, it's just, oh man. Oh, where did that come from?
Oh man, so sorry.
And like learning to shoot old timey guns, and it's one, you know, you get shot once, you're down, you know. So there's no shields, there's nothing like that.
Right.
And it's just quiet. And you just have to focus.
So what is the main crux of this game? Like, what are you going for in this game?
So
what do you have to do?
You drop into the map,
Yeah.
and you're basically bounty hunters, so you have to catch a demon,
Yeah.
so to speak, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
So you have to go across the map, and you have this special vision you can use that tells you what direction to go in, and you cross the map to get there. But obviously there are like horses that are on the ground who are like winning like crazy, dogs, chickens, crows, glass, zombies. So there are zombies everywhere.
Yeah.
And so you have to deal with them. And also there are other players who are trying
Yeah.
to do the same thing you're doing.
Yeah.
So you have to find clues throughout the map. There are 3 clues that will tell you where your bounty is.
Yeah.
So once you've got the 3 clues, you go to the bounty site. The bounty is a massive tarantula spider thing with like faces on its belly. The assassin, which is like this wraith. The butcher, which is like this big butcher with a pig head. Like it's horror, right? It's really... and you have to fight and beat it. But you have to fight and beat it and make loads of noise. And once you beat it, you then have to banish it, which takes minutes.
Right.
And whilst you're banishing it, it sends up this giant blue flare in the sky that everybody knows where you're at.
So then everybody starts coming for you.
Everyone wants to take your bounty.
Oh, mate.
So then once you've done that, you then have to get to the extraction point and just haul ass off the map.
Oh, my days.
With the bounty, because someone can kill you and take it off you. And so it is ruthless.
Right.
So not only are you running across the map dodging zombies and other players, there are like special ones like immolators that will blow up, or there's the crazy like fly cockroach lady that will poison you.
Yeah.
If she sees you, she screams and all these bugs come out of her.
Yeah.
And she surrounds you and poisons you.
This game sounds alright.
Ah, man.
Sounds epic.
I want to be good at it so bad.
Yeah. Is this going to be your new jam on toast?
See, this is the thing. So the Skill Up, who I value his reviews, he's a big fan of it, and he made a good point, which I discovered is this game is so niche and this game is so specific that it's quite an elite player base.
Right.
So if people see that you're new,
they're going to pick on you.
No, they just won't play with you. So it's a case
That's
of...
as good as, though, or as bad as, should I say.
So you can't...
Yeah.
Usually you want to play with 1 or 2 other people.
Yeah.
And that means, if you're in the matchmaking, you could be matchmaking for a long time.
Right.
Because people are like, oh, I matchmake with this guy. Who is he? Oh, he's level 3. Nah, I'm out. and that goes on for like 10, 15 minutes. Because the player base is quite small for a game, right?
Right.
And so I was like, nah, I'm out. Because if you had millions of players, it wouldn't matter because people like drop in and you could just go for it. But having someone that is willing to take you on is a thing. So the only way that I'm improving and learning the game is by playing with my mates.
Yeah.
And doing research on YouTube and then going, okay, I can do this, and then kind of relaying that information. That's the only way I'm getting anywhere in the game.
Right. Okay.
Which is a real shame because I would love to spend more time in solos and stuff, but I just get murdered. It's really, really tough. But it's also hysterical playing with my mates because they're just cracking up laughing because we're like accidentally shot each other or stabbed each other and we're bleeding. I'm like, why am I bleeding? Oh, because I stabbed you in the back. Ow. Okay, fine. All right, let me just bandage that out real quick.
It is pretty crazy. Sorry to cut you off.
No, go.
It is pretty crazy that because this sounds like a really, really good game, but I don't know how it's not more popular.
I don't either. I really don't either. It's quite hard. It's quite ruthless. The load times are quite long on PlayStation as well. But I don't know. I really don't know what makes a game successful or not. Maybe it's because something like COD is considered quite cool because it's a military shooter. Maybe something like Apex is cool because it's like a sci-fi,
is it that
high action, fast pace, whereas Hunt is quite slow. It's quite a slow paced game. It's a lot more methodical, I think.
So it kind of takes away the accessibility to it in a way, I suppose.
Potentially, yeah.
Because with COD, like I could run in and play COD now. I wouldn't be very good at it, but
you would take to it quite quickly.
But I would take to it quickly. I would go into Apex,
Correct.
take to that quite quickly. But with how you describe Hunt Showdown,
there's a lot of mechanics.
There's a lot going on,
Like
and
the
I've got to
idea
pay attention to crows.
Yeah, like don't shoot zombies. Don't shoot zombies. You have to stab them.
Yeah.
Don't shoot immolators. But don't stab them also because they'll blow up.
Yeah.
Like little things that are like mechanics that you should know that will make the game easier. It's not very kind of pick up and play. It is something that is quite methodical, and you have to spend a bit of time in it, and that's why it's interesting for me to go across to it, especially with the guys. Who are like hardcore Apex. I'm hardcore. We're all hardcore Apex. To go over to something like that and see the play style in a new game, being like, because you can play COD the same way you can play Apex.
I'd imagine so. Yeah,
to a degree.
It's got that kind of rapid sort of thing about it. That fluidity about it.
The time to kill is a bit different.
Yeah.
shields and body armor and stuff, and obviously guns and that. But essentially, you get given a gun, you land on the map, and you go. This, you can't do that. You need to figure out what direction you're going, and how do you do that? How do you understand where the clues are? What are the clues? What do I do with that monster? How does that monster work? What does this gun do? There's more to it.
Yeah.
And I feel like you need to spend time in it. I mean, it was interesting after a while seeing DJ kind of go, because at one point it was like, I got this.
Right.
And he was like,
something just clicked.
It clicked, and you visibly see it.
Yeah.
And it was the same with Trick, where it was just the two guys I was playing with. There was a visible shift in the gameplay when we played this. The first game was a mess. That was very, very funny.
Yeah.
But the second game, you visibly see the switch of, okay, I know what this is now.
Right.
So when there was a zombie came up, Trick switched to a knife and killed it, and then this happened and that happened. And you're like, it just, and we got into a gunfight, and we won the gunfight. It would be fascinating to see if we played the game a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I want to play the game a little bit more. Just in case you're listening, guys.
I can tell by the way you're describing it.
It's you could see that visible change in the play styles.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it, man. For the fact it's been out as long as it has, and it's not as big as it should be. It is interesting. Wow, I really stuck on that for a bit.
No, not at all. I enjoyed hearing about that because it's really interesting to me that, of all the first-person shooters that I hear about,
this is the most unique.
It sounds very unique. It sounds like something I could just go into and just I could start picking this apart.
I think you would love it.
Yeah.
I think it's like if you decided to if you were going because I know that you play quite specific games.
Yeah.
If you were to break away and get into first-person shooters, I would say Hunt would be your game.
Yeah.
You will die a lot and it will be painful for the first month.
Yeah.
But it's the same with a fighting game.
Yeah, true.
You would be like, this is my game. Because the aesthetic and the horror elements of it and everything else, you go full Rambo, man. You go into the bush and you're waiting, and I think you'd love it. I would love to know what you think.
How much is that game now? What's the cost saying?
What on the PlayStation?
yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to figure that out.
What are we saying?
I don't know. So what else are you going to be playing over this? Now that Halloween's over.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still going to continue with Darkwood.
Okay.
Because that's obviously got a lot to it, and I feel as though there's still a lot that I need to figure out about it with with the crafting system and the trading system as well. When you meet the first merchant who, I'm not going to say what it is, but you meet the first merchant and he's not very nice, but yeah, there's bits and pieces there that you have to kind of learn how to maneuver around.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So what's it saying? That's good. Wow, £13. £13 for Hunt Showdown.
That offers tomorrow. Ends tomorrow.
Right.
There you go, Ron.
Right, doing it.
Do it tonight.
I'm doing it tonight.
Nice. Okay, good. Another one. Another guy. Sick.
But yeah, aside from Darkwood, I mean, that's my main focus right now. I think just sticking with Darkwood and just sort of traipsing through the mist on that one.
I've been playing a lot of various games recently, actually, and I've been kind of trying to play the darker games. I mean, I'm playing some silly games like Don't Starve and Oxygen Not Included and stuff, but I've been playing State of Decay 2.
Oh yeah, you mentioned a little bit about
which is a open world. I'm going to try and explain this myself. It's an open world zombie horror survival game where it feels. I know people are going to be like twisting it. It's nothing like The Walking Dead, but it is kind of like The Walking Dead.
Yeah,
in the way that you've got your group.
Yeah,
you have a base.
Yeah,
you need to go out and scavenge. You meet other people from other groups that you like or you don't like. You need to clear the map. Zombies attack your base. It's got like a Mad Maxy feel. You can drive cars.
Yeah.
And what I like about it is that it feels very like, all right, crack on. And I don't mean that in a difficulty level thing. I mean that in a go and do your thing, survive, play this game how you want to play it.
Yeah.
And I like that because I find it quite therapeutic, especially when you're playing other games like Nier Automata and Final Fantasy VII and what else have I been playing? Like trying out the new player experience on Warcraft, and
Yeah.
it sometimes feels very intense. They're very like, this is how you play it, and these are the things you need to do.
Yeah.
Whereas State of Decay, although not very well received, I think, I'm having a good time with it. It's a bit buggy, but I'm having a good time with it. They just dropped the trailer for State of Decay 3 as well.
Oh, right.
Which I showed you. That was the one with the deer eating the wolf.
Ah, yes, it was. Yeah.
That was deep.
Yeah. I mean, zombie deers, man.
For real.
Yeah, that looks serious.
So do you think now, like, I know we've been talking about games for 40 minutes, more than, and we haven't asked the question. So do you feel like now it's harder to make horror games because there are more mechanics, there are more choices than ever?
Right.
So, for example, Darkwood, what would normally be considered as like, look at Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
First person is always a great one because things in your face.
Yeah.
And it's a horror game about, a family in the woods and da-da-da.
Yeah.
That would be considered a genuinely scary game. It's a horror game, da-da-da. Darkwood is a scary game.
Yes,
but it's a very different aesthetic.
It's a very
Like, now we've reached a point where horror can be portrayed in so many different ways.
Yeah.
Do you think it's still a very, like, first person is always going to be the way, or
you know what? I feel
like, what makes it a good horror now? Like, what makes a good horror in a game now aesthetically?
Well, I mean, this is the thing. I mean, we were saying not long ago that it doesn't have to necessarily be about aesthetics as such anymore. It can be
anything.
It can be anything. And with what we've been experiencing recently, the sound has played a major part. I remember when, I remember PT. Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, that was the first person kind of switch. Yeah.
Wasn't it?
It kind of was, yeah. It kind of set the benchmark, really.
Yeah.
But, you're in this house and, aesthetically it all looks quite creepy and quite moody. But you notice that the sound was playing a part there as well.
Oh, man.
Right? The sound was definitely playing a part. And it was that whole thing of, you could hear little things happening outside the window, or you could hear like a weird clock somewhere in the distance or something like that. Something was going, you get those what do they call it, like house settling movements when the house. So you hear all of that stuff, which is as equal, if not more important, than the actual aesthetic itself. And I can say that quite comfortably, especially playing Darkwood.
Do you think sound is the most important thing? Is sound the most important thing in horror? I would say yes. I'm gonna say it is.
It has to be. I think it has to be. Depending on what you're going for. If you are trying to go for setting that constant kind of tension, that constant sort of mood, with just like sparing sounds here and there, and you may hear like the air shift or something like that. If you've got those kind of things, then I think sound is.
But sound is the same. It's a precursor to a jump scare, where sound.
How so?
Well, you think about it, like how a normally what would happen in a horror film is the sound will actually disappear. It'll get quiet. You'll focus on the breathing. There'll be nothing. It'll be very.
That's true. Yeah.
Bang! You'll get hit over the head with something.
Yeah.
So, if it was like loud noise, the jump scare wouldn't do anything because it's not going from an extreme nothing to an extreme something.
Yeah.
So dialing it down so you're only focusing on the breathing, on the house settling, and then there's this big crash. And normally like a sound effect or music or something will spike it as well. I find that it helps, it's almost vital for a jump scare. Just as it is with like psychological.
Because it's kind of pulling you into that full sense of security in a sense.
But it's been done so much now. You can see it's telegraphed.
You can see it a mile away.
But I think sound is the most important thing in horror.
No, it definitely is. It definitely is. And that bit you were saying about how sound sometimes just goes quiet right before the jump scare. Playing Gone Home.
Yeah, man.
There were parts where you didn't hear the ambience of what was going on outside, or you didn't hear the rain or anything like that.
Yeah.
But nothing happened.
I love the idea of
and I really like that.
We've got a mutual friend that's going to hate us having this conversation.
Oh, yeah.
But the idea of being in a real world scenario in a game or in a movie, but it feels like the protagonist is in another world where people are outside on the street, cars are going past.
Yeah.
It's that classic thing 28 Days Later when he's going through all this and he's laying on his back after just dodging death, being thrown into a mass grave, and he looks up and there's a commercial plane going over the top. That idea of being like in a situation where people are walking in the street outside, the rain is falling, cars are going past, the normality of it, like it could be happening anywhere at any time.
Yeah.
You could be the guy on the street walking past and someone's up in
Yeah.
a penthouse somewhere going through the most horrific thing. And that's what I love in games, is when it's more like, because games are very, I find a lot, especially Japanese games, from my experience, it's always like you are so isolated and you're so in the middle of nowhere, and there's no one around for 1,000 miles, and you have to survive. You know, there was I can't remember that one was where he drives into the mountains and he's got a house there. It's just, I find it way scarier when it's among everything. Allison Road is a perfect example of something.
Oh man, one of the greatest games that never was.
happened.
Just like PT, except we actually got to play PT. But
Allison Road was one of those things set just in our house.
Yeah. And as we all know, that's my favorite kind of horror. That's my lean into horror. You know, this is me going back to feeling safe in your home. Shout out to JCG.
Yeah, I knew he was gonna hate it because he was like, why would you want? He asked me to ask, and I forgot the question, but it was something along the lines of, why would you want your sanctuary to feel unsafe?
Why would I want my sanctuary to feel?
Why
unsafe?
would you want your home? Because you said previously that the reason things are scary is that it could be your home. It could be your car. It could be in the back seat of your car. It could be in that, whatever. Because it makes it feel real as opposed to these like big fantasies. Like, why would you want to jeopardize this mentally the safety of your own home?
Interesting question, but it's not about the want. It's about the could.
The question still stands.
Well, how do you mean?
Well, why do you want that? Why would you want to potentially have your, like I said, potentially mentally have the safety of your home put at risk? Why would you want to watch a film that's set in someone's house? And enjoy it because it's in someone's house, and it could be your house.
Yeah.
Why would you want to put that your own home mentally at risk?
Yeah.
Much less enjoy it.
Because I think for me that is what kind of grounds it in reality for me. It kind of grounds it in a really solid reality. You know, where we live in a world whereby it's not just experiencing horror games and horror movies, but there's also little stories that you hear from people or your friends, aunt, or something like that. That may have had like some questionable experiences, and you just sort of raise an eyebrow, like, huh? Okay, well, I'm just going to forget about that. But you know, at the same time, it kind of sticks with you a little bit, right?
Yeah.
It's very much in the real world. So you take all of that, you know, take the experience of watching, say, the Amityville Horror or Paranormal Activity, right?
Right.
Or the Blair Witch, and take the experience of, you know, playing certain games like Allison Road, like PT, like Silent Hill. And, you know, you mix all of that together, and it helps solidify that kind of realism. If we were to put this sense of horror up against something, say, like, I don't know,
Itchy the Killer.
That was an obscure one.
I'm just a fan.
Wait, hold on. What is Itchy the Killer for the fans out there, for the people them?
It's a really, really dark Japanese horror film.
Yeah, it really is.
It's like,
it's just a bit cray.
Yeah. But that was a good example.
Yeah, no, it is. But
or Ring or Grudge or whatever. Yeah,
actually, Ring and Grudge, right? Like, you know, you take those two, and you know, you take the mentally haunted house, let's just call it that.
I mean, The Grudge is about a haunted house, isn't it?
It is essentially, but there was something about it that didn't grab me. It was good, but I didn't get that sense of my walls could be closing in. I just didn't get that from The Grudge. I don't
get why you want to feel that way. I hate the idea of being like, well, that movie's over and I'm never sleeping again. It just doesn't make, like, I like that separation of going, that was scary, but that was over there.
Yeah.
That was somewhere else, whether it's in a different timeline, a different place. But the idea of it being like, what was it? Did you ever watch the second Conjuring?
Yeah.
The one that was in East London?
No, I didn't watch that one. No, I didn't watch that one.
I haven't seen it, but I won't because that's a little bit too close.
Yeah, but that's why it's good.
I don't get you.
I am a junkie like that. I can't help myself. I do love to be scared. I do love to be messed with a little bit mentally. Do you know what I mean?
Have you seen that? Annabelle is the character.
I've seen Annabelle. Yeah.
Okay, battle shots.
Well, okay. Segue. Here we go.
Annabelle.
Yeah.
Chucky.
Are you mad? What? Annabelle, Chucky.
Why?
'Cause Chucky, man.
Or
I would say Chucky. Chucky will drink that.
Freddy
Ooh.
and Chucky.
Wow, Freddy v Chucky.
Drink off.
Freddy v Chucky. That one I'll have to give to Freddy.
And you can't say trauma because they're both.
No, they're both just way over the edge.
Yeah, man.
But no, that one I'd give to Freddy because Freddy is definitely. I mean, they're both hard, but Freddy Krueger is a different kind of something. He's a different kind of sadistic in the sense that he could take that burning alcohol, like he'd smash bottles of absinthe.
Yeah, whole bottles
of absinthe. Like,
I think Chucky would do a good job.
He would do a good job, but he's not standing up.
Little
to
frame
Freddy.
in it.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I mean, to those who don't know, Freddy Krueger is from
Nightmare on Elm Street,
and Chucky is from
Child's Play.
Great classic horror films.
Great, awesome films.
And I feel like this battle shot should have been between two of the Godfathers. I was gonna say Pennywise.
Nah, Pennywise can't drink, man. You seen the way he drools.
Is it? Okay, all right.
I'm shutting Pennywise down,
because I mean, I'm only going with the classics.
Yeah.
So, Pennywise, Chucky, Freddy.
Yeah.
I don't want to say Jason and Mike would be a good one.
That's what I was just gonna say. Jason and Mike.
You don't even know. You're so worried.
Yeah, I am. Well, what do you think? Who would you choose out of Jason and Mike?
I would say Mike.
You'd say Mike?
Yeah.
Why?
Jason's mummy's boy, ain't he?
Dark.
I don't think his mum would let him drink.
He ain't been let out of the house.
Nah,
enough.
man. You get called home quick.
Yeah, no, I feel that. Mike.
I think that his mum's head would be vexed at the idea of him out drinking, especially with his killer friends.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
Whereas Mike's, he stands alone.
He does, and he just
pours it into the hole in that mask.
A man of very, very few words. He'll just smash it.
I think he's one of those people that like that swirly straw.
Swirly straw.
They just puts it in the bottle of vodka and just puts it in the hole in the mask. That one.
That is really specific, dude. You okay?
I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah. Wow.
That's all we have time for today.
Yes, indeed.
We all hope you've had a wonderful Halloween.
Hope you've been safe during these increasingly uncertain times. Yeah.
We know that on Thursday, the UK will be going into another lockdown. So,
Lockdown 2.0.
If you get bored and you haven't listened to the rest of our episodes, please go back.
We're
here. Hang out with us.
Yeah.
And obviously, we'll be here. My voice is now back, and we'll be here every week, seeing you through the games. All the way up until we don't want to do it anymore. Yeah,
we're here to keep you company, guys.
Yeah,
we're here to look after you. So just join us in the chat, join us in the comment sections on YouTube.
Hit us up.
On Instagram, always keep it classy, obviously. No, it's not keep it classy, it's keep it civil. Keep it civil. This season. Obviously keep it civil, but yeah, man, we're here for you. So, yeah, come hang out with us.
Yeah, dude. Let's do it.
All right,
later.
Peace.